I would look at my vision board. Okay, I can see from the top of my vision board to my bottom. These are the things that I want to clearly, strive towards. Very important things, not like materialistic things. Yeah, it's there, of course, but a lot of it was purpose-based driven, but on top of that, the discipline of having to understand that, you know, if you want to become what you want to, well, if you want to essentially be the person that you want to be, you got to visualize that person and feel that person. Otherwise, yeah, like
That's real.
if you
Come on.
genuinely can't feel like you're not the person. Okay, for example, a lot of people get stuck, and I call it paralysis analysis. So you always think about, like, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and you'll probably write it down. But then the key thing is taking action on it and understanding that you are not that person yet. So it's going to be uncomfortable along that journey. So being uncomfortable, being unfamiliar with that feeling of being that person is like the biggest step to actually becoming that person.
100%.
Because if you can't get out of that, the old self, that old habit, the old person that you are, then you genuinely can't be that multi-billion-dollar person that you have in your head. Because that's a whole different person. You have to really, think about it. It's like habits are going to change your behavior. Like everything that you do will be different. That means you'll feel uncomfortable. And when people feel uncomfortable, a lot of the times they feel like they have to retreat.
Real.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, definitely understanding that you got to visualize in detail, this is the person I want to be. And most importantly, have your why factor, vision board, and be disciplined. Take action. Action is the biggest thing. But understanding that you just have to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. So as long as you can see yourself being that person and it feels uncomfortable, you're on the right path.
Right.
Because that's how it is. You have to become that. You have to become a renewed being to actually be that person that you have in your head.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's real. Some nuggets there. Okay, so to pinpoint a few things that you said, so let's just say to summer, one thing was you have to be able to take aggressive action. That was the third thing you said. The first thing was the why. I think why is super important. I agree with you 100% there.
Yeah.
And then the second thing you said was, what would you say the second key point was?
Be comfortable with the uncomfortable.
Be comfortable with the uncomfortable. Yeah. What would you say is your biggest why now? At 26, halfway through your 20s, I know I personally know you on a personal level, so I know what some of your strengths and ambitions are, but what would you say is your key why at this stage in your life?
Yeah. Biggest why? I would say one thing is I have slowly, I've become a more consistent trader now, a much more profitable trader.
Yeah.
I've been on my ups and downs. Lost
That's
a lot
real,
of money.
man.
Now I've made it like this slowly building up, making a lot of money. But most importantly, what trading has taught me as well is discipline. But also, it builds your faith as well.
Real.
Because I'll say that's one of my biggest whys. Keeping your faith in check. Otherwise, everything else that you do won't really make sense in the long run.
For those that perhaps are less religious, like how would you define faith?
Faith, like believing in a God. It can be for others. For me personally, believing in God and understanding that from my point of view is essentially it keeps you disciplined. So with Christianity, essentially it teaches you a lot about discipline, humility, and understanding that there's a lot of business beneficials, like just stuff that you can learn from that, from just Christianity, that will actually build you as a really good business person. Right? So it's taught me a lot of things, and obviously it's kind of like reflecting on my trading and my ecom now slowly. It's understanding that, don't overthink, take action, of
Real.
course, humility, be humble, don't be greedy. Like in trading, don't be trading is you cannot be greedy in trading. That's one of the biggest things. Like the psychology of that, like and the reasons why I brought up trading just goes hand to hand with like with Christianity, or just in general.
Interesting perspective.
A lot of religions do have that fundamentals, in terms of the trading factors that would make you a successful trader, of course. But with God, definitely, yeah, it has made me, it's kept me consistent, profitable trader. Yeah.
I have a question, and interpret it the way you like. So some might argue that trading might mirror, I guess, like a certain level of risk tolerance that might be paired with not gambling, but within that neighborhood. But I agree with you because you talked about faith being the ability to take action without like actually knowing if it'll work or not.
Yeah.
So how do you distinguish between the two? Because that's a high level thing that you said. It's actually ironic that you're aligning trading with faith, but perhaps to the general public, those that aren't as aligned or understand the industry. And I trade stocks as well, by the way. So I'm just, how do you discern whether it kind of teeters into gambling and remains more aligned with faith? How do you distinguish the two?
Yeah. So think about trading. If you want to become a profitable trader,
Okay,
you
profitable. Yeah. Keyword. Okay.
you gotta completely get rid of the word gambling. Because if you're a gambler, then you're not gonna make it in trading.
Yeah.
It's like,
And I've made that
yeah,
mistake.
that's true.
That's true.
And I mean, I've made that mistake as well, but
Yeah,
I've learned
yeah,
as well. So, it's very calculative. You got to be analytical.
Yeah.
You got to understand that, yeah, like be a consistent. So I've just like any other trader, you got to have a trading plan. I go through my trading
That's
plan.
true.
It's
For
consistent.
me, it's a stock journal.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
trading stock journal. Yeah, yeah. I get
So
you.
you got a trading plan. You go through everything and make sure that you stick by the rules. Otherwise, if you go off track, you're most likely going to mess up and start wandering and dabbling upon other
Right.
factors of trading.
Right.
But as long as I stick to my trading plan, I'm going to become a consistent, profitable trader overall. So like, yeah, I may have days that I lose, but it's cool. It's
Numbers.
it's numbers. It could be 80% win rate. That's amazing.
100%. Nice one. Okay.
But it's all calculative. It's never gambling. Yeah.
There we go. Gotcha.
As long as your strategy works, that's all. Yeah.
100%. So, okay, right now in 2025, right, there's a lot of different business models that people are interested in. AI is a huge thing. Obviously, agency models still popular.
Yeah.
People like Iman Gachi, and many others. Sam Ovens are still incentivizing people to go down the agency model.
Yeah.
Building communities is a huge trend right now. People got their own Skool groups, Facebook groups. In Melbourne, a lot of people run their own event. Everyone and their dog has a freaking Afrobeats event, So like, with the opportunities in this, let's just say 1 to 2 year window,
Yeah.
what do you think is an opportunity that isn't being capitalized on enough, and one that you think is going to keep working despite the growth of AI?